Hi, I'm Jon Wilkin, and this is the best 13 players that I've played with. So at number one at fullback, without doubt, is Paul Wellens. Incredible player, unbelievable tactical awareness, tough, durable, and a competitor throughout his career. And looking back at some of the tries he scored, created and saved, he's a shoo-in at fullback. On one wing, I've got Darren Albert. Like Darren Albert, when you are with somebody who's got genuine pace, it scares you. And I don't think I've played with a guy who's had genuine pace like Darren Albert, somebody who gets quicker the further he runs. And some of the tries he scored, I think in my first 2 years at St Helens, Darren Albert's tries were just mesmeric, and he was an exceptional player. In the centre, Jamie Lyon. Now, Jamie Lyon turned up to St Helens looking like a pig farmer in terrible condition, and we were all questioning whether he was world class. 6 weeks later, he got in shape and he was winning us games, and he won us. I don't think I've ever played with a player who's won independently games on their own, and he did that. The other centre, Matt Gidley. Look, a player who I admired from afar, as a junior player, when you watched maybe State of Origin and Matt Gidley was at the centre of everything. He was an incredible centre, somebody who understood the intricacies of playing centre, and probably developed, so many young centres around the world through watching his craft. On the other wing, Adi Gardner. Me and Adi, we grew up sort of in this St Helens town centre. We lived in separate terraced houses. We were like bosom buddies throughout that time. We got a lot of things wrong. We did a few things right. But I think Adi was one of the toughest guys to tackle in Super League for a period of time. He just ran straight and hard, reckless. And that was probably more down to his lack of intellect than his actual rugby prowess. Standoff. There's a few guys we could choose from here, but one who's going to go into the team is Johnny Lomax. I think he's developed into an exceptional player, and specifically, when it comes to St Helens, I think he's contributed a huge amount. At scrum half, Sean Long, again, a robust character, tough player, a maverick, a rock star, a deep thinker about rugby actually as well. So at scrum half, it'd be Sean Long. In the props, now I know that's a heavily laden St Helens backline, but one of the props is going to be Jamie Peacock. I high tackled Paul Deacon in 2005. Jamie Peacock had blood coming out of his mouth and chased me, and I don't think I've ever been so scared in all my life. So JP makes the team. At hooker, look, I think I played with some great hookers, Kieran Cunningham, but I'd put, for pure consistency and longevity and leadership, James Roby. He's one of the best players I think we've seen in this country. Other prop would be James Graham. What a player, what can you say about him? An exceptional career, international career, a star of the NRL for a long period of time, and unbelievable. In the second row, Adrian Morley. I played with him for Great Britain and played against him a number of times as well. But Moz wasn't traditionally a second row, but I picked him at second row because my memories of Adrian Morley were this lanky guy from Leeds. And I went to the Challenge Cup final as a junior to watch Leeds versus London, and remembering watching Moz sprint onto the ball with just a reckless sort of attitude. And that stuck with me. The other second row I chose was Lee Gilmore. Me and Gil, we didn't see eye to eye in our careers. He's a smart sort of know-it-all kind of guy. He'd be the guy who's trying to coach you in the middle of a game. He'd be telling you what you'd done wrong, although he'd probably done it wrong himself. But he was, for a period of time there, one of the best defensive back rowers I've ever played with. Literally flawless for months and months. Didn't get anything wrong defensively, and having somebody like that in your team was huge. At loose forward, without doubt, was Paul Sculthorpe. And I know I've gone heavy into Saints, but that's all that I know. Paul Sculthorpe could play halfback, played loose forward. I think single-handedly beat the Australians on a couple of occasions. Man of Steel 2001, 2002. I think he was probably the best player in the world for the period at which I first got to St Helens. I think the biggest shame for me was Paul, towards the back end of my Saints career, was just, you know, struggling with injuries. But I think he'd be one of the greatest British rugby players of all time.